Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, guest of honor, all other dignitaries on the dais, all invitees who have assembled here, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to each one of you to the 10th edition of SCI-FFI, the Science Film Festival of India, being held in this vibrant city that is Panjim. It is both an honor and privilege for me as the chairperson to stand before you today and witness the gathering of some of the brightest minds, creative storytellers, and passionate science communicators from across the nation and of course beyond. In fact, this year marks a special milestone for SCI-FFI as we celebrate a decade of bridging the gap between science and society through the powerful medium of films. What started a vision to make science more accessible, engaging and inspiring has now grown into a prestigious platform that brings together scientists, of course students, science enthusiasts under one roof. In fact, I would say, I think that this is a time that we must remember that this is the brainchild of late Honorable Manohar Parrikar, the then Chief Minister of Goa, and of course, one of the, loveliest person or one of the person who have been living for others, none other than the National Secretary, former National Secretary of Vijnan Bharati, late Shri Jayendra Sahasrabudhe. They have discussed the matter. In fact, I would say that we had a very excellent Bharatiya Vijnan Sammelan in the year 2014, and then by looking at the the success we had, that has made Shri Jayendra Sahasrabudhe and of course the former Chief Minister to discuss further how to keep this tempo, and finally this idea of SCI-FFI has been culminated. Over the past 10 editions, SCI-FFI has showcased thought-provoking documentaries, inspiring feature films, and innovative short films that have not only educated but also ignited curiosity and imagination. The festival has successfully fostered a culture where science is not confined to textbooks and laboratories but is brought to life on the silver screen, reaching audiences far and wide. In fact, the 10th edition of SCI-FFI is special for many reasons. This year's festival will feature insightful discussions, interactive workshops, master classes by renowned experts, and special screenings of science film that highlight some of the most pressing issues of our time, like climate change, space exploration, artificial intelligence, biodiversity conservation, and future technology. Our theme this year, in fact, every, the SCI-FFI has a theme, and our theme for this year is concentrating on Green Revolution because this year happens to be the 100th birth anniversary of Bharata Ratna Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, the father of Green Revolution of India, and we are very lucky that we have amongst us his beloved daughter, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, who witnessed this event. Let me tell you a brief about Madam Soumya. Soumya Swaminathan, basically she's a pediatrician and global expert in tuberculosis and HIV research. Served as WHO's chief scientist and previously as Director General of Indian Council of Medical Research, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India during the period 2015-2017. Then she assumed the role of chairperson at the M.S. Swaminathan Research Foundation in the year 2023. And she's also the principal advisor to National Tuberculosis Elimination Program, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. During her tenure as WHO's first chief scientist, Dr. Swaminathan established the science division focusing on research, quality assurance of norms and standards, and digital health. She played a pivotal role in coordinating global scientific efforts and was instrumental in setting up COVAX to ensure equitable vaccine distribution to low and middle income countries during the COVID-19 pandemic. I think she needs a big applause for the kind of humanitarian activity. Her current focus is on addressing the health impacts of climate change, especially on women and children, and food system transformations to strengthen nutrition security in India and regionally. In fact, I must express my gratitude. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to all our partners, sponsors and supporters who have played an instrumental role in making this event a reality. A heartfelt thanks to organizing committee, volunteers and the entire SCI-FFI team for their dedication and hard work in putting together this remarkable festival. I would also like to extend my deepest appreciation to our esteemed, scientists, filmmakers whose presence here today adds actually the immense value to this festival. Your contribution, insights and innovations continue to inspire us all. As we embark on this exciting journey over the next few days, I encourage each one of you, especially the students, to participate actively, engage in discussions and explore the incredible films and ideas that SCI-FFI 2025 has to offer. May this festival serve as a beacon of inspiration for future generation, encouraging them to embrace science, think critically and dream beyond boundaries. With that, I once again welcome all of you to this 10th edition of SCI-FFI. Let us celebrate the beauty of science and storytelling together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Menon, for the welcome address and the wonderful introduction of our guest of honor, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan. As Professor Menon told us about how the idea of SCI-FFI started in 2014. Now I invite the mentor of Vigyan Parishad Goa and Vice Chairman of Organizing Committee of SCI-FFI 10.0, Shri Suhas Godse, to brief about this year's event.
Namaskar. Good evening to all of you. Chief guest of the inaugural function, Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, who is also the Chief Patron of Science Film Festival. Guest of honor, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, who has graced this event today, traveling all the way from Chennai. Vice Chancellor, Professor Harilal Menon, Chairman of Organizing Committee, Shri Vivekananda Paiji, the National General Secretary of Vigyan Bharati, Shri Ankit Yadav, IAS, CEO of this premises, Entertainment Society of Goa, which is also co-organizer, Engineer Prasad Rangnekar, the President of Vigyan Parishad. We have also Samir ji and Rajendra Bhove ji. Sharad Kale ji is here, and Sanjay Deshmukh ji is amongst us. So all, and Amit Pernikar ji, all these luminaries have here. This is the 10th year. This is the 10th time I'm standing here giving a brief on the Science Film Festival. As you know, that Vigyan Parishad Goa has this unique flagship program, which is unique because it is for the students, and this particular program links the films to the topics of science, and this is with the help of the scientists from the fields. So this is unique, of course. Now this is a 4-day event. We are beginning now. There is an exhibition which has been just inaugurated a few minutes back. And then we have next 3 days full of events. Of course, there will be screening here. There will be screening from morning 10 o'clock till evening 5 o'clock. It is for students and there will be scientists interacting. There are other things like filmmaking workshop here, reel making workshop. There's a workshop on Indian knowledge system. There is also a very, very special program that is Student Science Village Vigyanika, which will be held for 3 years and 3 days, and it will be it is mainly for the students from the rural areas, from the border talukas of Goa. There is also a lot of activity with robotics, and another great thing that's coming up this year, first time we are trying it, it is SCI-FFI challenge, wherein hands-on assembly of certain electronic instruments will be done. And the children will be able to take them with them, for themselves. So it is a takeaway. Well, something has been added every year, and this year's addition is 2 satellite events, film plus scientist interaction for 1 day on 30th in Sankelim, Sakri and Ravindra Bhavan, and similarly on 31st in Madga Ravindra Bhavan. So these are 2 special things we have added this year. Every year something or the other is added, and now this is the stage we have come up to. And in all this journey, I must say that our government, especially under our Chief Minister, has been very generous, always supportive. And I must say that there are other departments who have been very, very cooperative. Like Education Department has wholeheartedly supported us over all these years and made it a name or a success, and something unique all over. So much so that when we go to the schools in the pre-activity, usually the school asks what is the date, and the children say that would we get opportunity to attend. Well, this is the level we have come up to, and I hope it will continue the same way or maybe with a greater vigor over the years. Thank you very much. Enjoy these 4 days. See the expo, and also there will be so many activities you can participate in. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
With this brief of sci-fi by Godse sir, thank you sir. It's time for offering bouquets to our dignitaries as a gesture of welcoming them, followed by lighting of the lamp to mark the inauguration. So I first request Vice Chairman of Organizing Committee, Shri Ashish Thakur Desai, to offer a bouquet of flowers to the chief guest of inaugural function, Dr. Pramod Sawan, Chief Minister of State of Goa. I request Professor I.K. Pai to welcome Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, who is the guest of honor for today's function. I would then invite Principal Shubhada Shirodkar. We now welcome Shri Ankit Yadav, Director of Department of Science and Technology and Waste Management, Government of Goa. I request Subhash Par to offer a bouquet of flowers to welcome him. Requesting Ameya Shirodkar to welcome Shri Vivekananda Pai, who is the Secretary General of Vijnana Bharati, Delhi. Requesting Shri Manohar Pednekar to welcome Shri Rajendra Bhobe, who is Vibhaga Sangha Chalak, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha, Goa. Requesting Professor Hiremat to welcome Professor Harilal Menon, who is the Vice Chancellor of Goa University and also shouldering the responsibility of Chairman of Organizing Committee of Science Film Festival of India 2025. Requesting once again Shri Ashish Thakur Desai to welcome Shri Suhas Godse, who is Vice Chairman of Organizing Committee of SCI-FFI and Mentor of Vigyan Parishad. Once again requesting Ameya to offer a bouquet of flowers to Shri Prasad Rangnekar, who is President of Vigyan Parishad. And also a small flower to Shri Samir Patil, Dr. Samir Patil, who is Secretary of Vigyan Parishad and also Controller of Examination at University of Goa. With these, welcome. Now, I request all the dignitaries along with the Chief Minister to proceed for lighting of the lamp. The 9 dignitaries are going to light the flames of curiosity, imagination, observation, critical thinking, experimenting, experiencing, creativity, patience, meticulous record making, and innovation. As most of the hands are busy capturing the moment on the mobile, the hands are not free to clap and celebrate the occasion by sound. I like the Hindi word for clapping, karatala dhwani. Thank you everyone. As we have a time constraint, we are going to proceed little ahead by changing the protocol with the permission of all the dignitaries. I now request the guest of honor of today's function, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, as told by Professor Menon that she is the daughter of Bharat Ratna M.S. Swaminathan, who was the father of Green Revolution in India. It is, we all are lucky, as he said, to witness her speaking to us. Dr. Soumya Swaminathan.
Namaskar. Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawantji, respected Vice Chancellor, and all of the dignitaries on the dais. It is a great pleasure to be here today, and I'd like to start by congratulating the government of Goa and successive chief ministers for having continued the wonderful tradition started by late Shri Manohar Parikarji on this concept of the International Science Festival of India. I think it's probably the only state to have this festival and to continue it for 10 years and to add to it every year and bring new innovations. So congratulations to Vigyan Bharati, Vigyan Parishad, and of course all the partners who make this possible. And it's also wonderful to see the exhibition outside, to see all the creativity and innovation from the different institutes of Goa, and particularly to see the young people who are manning all of those stalls outside, explaining, what they were doing. Including very young children who had come from the skilling program. I also had the opportunity today to visit the IIT Goa and College of Engineering in the morning where I was able to interact with some faculty and students. We had a very good interaction there, as well as later on I went to the hospital also. Particularly I'm interested in tuberculosis. So, and Goa is one of the states that has actually been a leader in providing the best molecular testing to all people who have suspected symptoms of TB. No other state has been able to do that. So again, Goa has done well, but still there is a big problem of TB because of the risk factors. It's an airborne disease, right? So it's very difficult. If you have TB in one place, it's going to spread to another place. And the major risk factors today continue to be malnutrition and alcohol addiction among the men particularly, which leads to further malnutrition, of course, because once you are addicted to alcohol, then you don't pay attention to your diet, as well as diabetes, and then HIV, smoking, and things like that. So really we'll have to address more of prevention and health promotion in the future, because many of these risk factors to health are increasing day by day, whether it is, our diets which are becoming unhealthy. Sometimes it is lack of access and affordability, but quite often it is lack of knowledge, and also going with the advertisements and the fads and and convenience and just purchasing whatever is available and eating it, rather than paying attention to what is actually healthy and more nutritious. So it was nice to see outside also some students, they had a pyramid of the nutrition and what you should eat more of and what you should eat less of, in terms of the pyramid going up. And also there were demonstrations of moringa and other highly nutritious products. So it's a lot of awareness needs to be also created on nutrition, and of course on avoiding addictive things like tobacco and alcohol, which are extremely dangerous for health. So I hope that the Department of Health, in partnership with others, will begin a big program for health promotion, health education, and that is actually linked to this program, this is about science literacy. So science literacy and health literacy are very much linked, and I think through films and through experiencing something, you can actually change behavior much better than giving lectures or putting posters or telling people you should do this, you should do that, because knowledge doesn't always translate into behavior change. I think we know that. And so how do you get people to actually change their behavior? This is a subject of massive research around the world. In fact, Nobel Prizes have been given to people who have specialized in behavioral economics. And there's often this theory, the nudge theory, that was what actually got the Nobel Prize for Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein a few years ago, where they described how you can nudge people towards certain types of behavior by studying how the mind, how do you make decisions, So it's the same thing with films, because films is something that you relate to emotionally. So when you are watching something visual, especially if it's a story or even if it's just a description of a beautiful thing in nature. I saw a beautiful film on the corals at the Science Museum in San Francisco, which takes you on an underwater journey, which most of us cannot do. We are not all scuba divers, and so we have never experienced what the life underwater is like. But once you experience that through a 3D film, then, and in this type of a theater, then you will appreciate that one has to be careful and protect nature, protect our environment. And there are so many living things which we don't see. At least above land, we have some idea of the living beings, whether they are plants or animals. But below water, there are equal number of species, and today they're at very high risk because of global warming. The sea, by the way, is the one that's protected us from global warming, because the sea has absorbed, the water has absorbed a lot of the heat and the CO2, So the additional CO2 that we have been releasing, greenhouse gases, a lot of it was being mitigated by the ocean. But today the ocean has reached a state where it can no longer absorb any more CO2, and it has warmed and become, the CO2 of course makes the water more acidic. This is why we see the mass dying off of coral reefs. And if you lose coral reefs, then you lose a whole ecosystem, because coral reefs actually are the, so many species depend on coral reefs for survival. So if coral reefs go, and unfortunately more than 80% are gone, only last few remaining coral reefs, healthy reefs, are there in the world. So of course there's a lot of research going on now on how to make them adapt to this type of change in temperature. So all of us are going to have to adapt to the changing climate. And though Goa is a very small state, but it's also vulnerable because it's a coastal state. It is also getting salinized. There is pressure on the land. There's pressure on the ecosystem, on forests, on the marine. So we'll have to keep thinking of new ways of adapting. Even the livelihoods will have to change. The traditional ways of doing fishing or agriculture may no longer be possible in a few years. And so we'll have to use science and technology to really bring solutions to some of these problems that we face, whether it is to health, whether it is to agriculture, whether it is to fisheries, any sectors, all sectors are going to face. And ultimately, we human beings have created this, not necessarily people here, because definitely the rich countries, high-income countries have contributed much more to global warming than the poor countries have. But ultimately, the burden is going to be disproportionately felt by us living in developing countries, because we have more population who are poor, who may not have all the facilities to protect themselves. For example, air conditioning that you have to protect yourself from heat. Not everybody has access to it, right? So we've got to find our own ways of dealing with climate change and with other threats to health today. And one way of doing that is to get children interested in science and excited by science, so that they want to take a career in science and they want to innovate and they want to solve societal problems. So that is what my father always used to say, that he used to say that children are like blossoms in the dust, and if you can give them the right environment, he said every child has a genetic potential, and if they have the right environment, they bloom and they thrive and they can express their full genetic potential. But if they don't have that environment, then many children will never reach their potential. So that's where health, education, a clean environment, all of the safety, mental health, all of these matter. So I'm also really thankful that Vinyan Parishad has decided to commemorate the centenary of Dr. Swaminathan, my father, because many people who are less than 50 years old, I think, will not really even imagine that India used to be in a state of food scarcity to the extent where people used to describe us as a ship-to-mouth existence. They used to say that the famous Malthus, who wrote his book saying that India is a country which cannot be saved, and so they will all die of famine ultimately. So his advice, let us save other countries which have potential to. So that was a situation where we had to import food to sustain. At that time, population was only 300 million at independence, and today we are at 1.4 billion, but we are exporting food, right? So we've come from there to today's where we are exporting food. But now the challenges again are climate change. How do we improve the nutrition content of the food, not just the yield, but also better nutrition? And therefore, I think young people need to stay in agriculture. They need to stay in agricultural research. They need to be in health research. These are all areas where we still have enormous challenges and problems. Tuberculosis is not a disease for which some rich country is going to find a solution. We will have to find the solution ourselves because it affects our people. And so it is our responsibility to do that. So for all of these reasons, I think this wonderful idea of having 100 lectures to celebrate the centenary, I would like to really thank Prasad ji for having initiated, of course, with Vinyan Bharati, with all your partners. But it's a great way to spread also the message which my father had, which is that you have to live in harmony with nature. And he started talking about an evergreen revolution. An evergreen revolution is where you continue to improve your food security, but without any ecological harm. And so we have to learn both from the successes and the failures and mistakes of the past as we embrace the future. So thank you very much for having really invited. I really enjoyed my visit to Goa. Every time I come here, I really want to spend much longer. So, and this is a wonderful opportunity also to meet a lot of young people, and of course meeting the Chief Minister, so dynamic and really wanting to take Goa on the right path, I think, of development without doing ecological harm, because ultimately we need to keep this place a beautiful place where everybody wants to come, and stay. So I think Goa is like a dream destination, for most Indians, and we need to keep it that way. So thank you very much again, and I look forward to interacting with more of you later. Thank you.
It was wonderful listening to Dr. Soumya Swaminathan. We are going to listen to her more during this film festival. I now request the chief guest of today's function and Chief Minister of the state of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, to address all of us.
Good evening, friends. 10th edition of the Science Film Festival. आज या खासा सोहळ्याक आमच्यामध्ये असत डॉक्टर सौम्या स्वामीनाथन, त्याचबरोबर अंकित यादव, विवेकानंद पै, श्री प्रसाद रांगणेकर, हरिलाल मेनन, वाइस चांसलर ऑफ द गोवा युनिव्हर्सिटी एंड द चेअरमॅन ऑफ द ऑर्गनायझिंग कमिटी, श्री राजेंद्र भोबे, विभाग प्रमुख ऑफ RSS, डॉक्टर शरद काळे उपस्थितांमध्ये असत, डॉक्टर सुहास गोडसे. 10th edition of the film festival सगळे उलयता सगळ्या जणांनी वक्त्यांनी सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवल कशा पद्धतीचे आणि कशे जातले 4 दिसांक हे तुमच्या मुखार दवरले. म्हाका सांगपाक खूब खोस भोगता. फाटली 10 वर्सां श्री लेट मनोहर पर्रीकर आणि लेट जयंतराव सहस्रबुद्धे हांच्या विजनरी संकल्पनेंतल्यान गोंयांत सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवल सुरू जालें आणि ते सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवल कंटिन्युअसली न चुकता गेली 10 वर्सां आमी सेलिब्रेट करता, आम्ही पळयता. आणि दर वर्सा सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवलान नवीन नवीन गजाली ऍड जायत आसा, नवीन नवीन भुरगे ऍड जायत आसा. आणि ह्या वर्साक तर सांखळी रवींद्र भवन आणि मडगांव रवींद्र भवन ह्या दोन्ही हातूंतल्यान भुरग्यांक पळोवपाची संद आमी उपलब्ध करून दिल्या. आमी डायरेक्टर ऑफ टेक्निकल एड्युकेशन, डायरेक्टर ऑफ हायर एड्युकेशन, डायरेक्टर ऑफ एड्युकेशन हे सगळे कंबायनली आणि डायरेक्टर ऑफ सायन्स अँड टेक्नॉलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट हे विज्ञान परिशदेच्या बरोबर असल्या उपरांत चडांत चड गोंयांतल्या भुरग्यांनी हाचो अनुभव घेवचो, सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवल पळोवचे, सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवलान इंटरॅक्शन जावचें हे इंटेन्शन सरकारान सदांच दवरलां. आणि म्हाका दिसता ह्या वर्साचे खास करून द बर्थ सेंटनरी ऑफ भारतरत्न डॉक्टर M. स्वामीनाथन, जे विजनरी सायंटिस्ट, ग्रीन रेव्होल्युशन ज्यांच्यानी भारतात हाडले, तांचे लेक्चर सिरीज हांगासर आयोजन करून खरोखरूच गोंयांतल्या सगळ्या भुरग्यांक सायंटिफीक टेम्परामेंट जागोवपाचें काम आमच्या ह्या सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवलांतल्यान जातलें. एक म्हटल्यार यंग आनी क्युरियस मायंड हांव पळयता की मोरपिल्लांतल्यान आयिल्ले आमचे ल्हानशे चली मोरिंगाचेर ते एक्सप्लेनेशन दिता. दॅट इटसेल्फ सेज, म्हणजे आमी म्हणटा की एखाद्या भुरग्याक एनकरेज करपा खातीर आनी लोकांच्या मदीं उलोवपाची जर उर्बा खंयच्यान आयली आसत जाल्यार ती ह्या पद्दतीच्या सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवलांतल्यान आयली. अदरवायज इट इज पॉसिबल नाशिल्लें. म्हणून तर म्हणजे भायर लायिल्लें एक्झिबिशन, हे एक्झिबिशन सायन्साचें एक्झिबिशन आसत आसा, बट इट इज द लिडरशीप इन सायन्स दॅट इज मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट. आमी म्हणटा की लिडरशीप सगळ्या क्षेत्रांत गरज आसा, तीच लिडरशीप डेव्हलप करपाचें काम आमचें सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवल सातत्यात करीत आयलां. हांव कॉंग्रॅच्युलेट करता विज्ञान परिशद आनी आमचें टोटल एंटायर टीम जे कंटिन्युअसली 10 वर्सां हे लीड करता, 10 वर्सां कंटिन्युअसली सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवल घडोवन हाडटा. ह्या वर्सा तांच्यांनी केल्लें एक्झिबिशन खरोखरूच म्हणजे खूब एकदम गोंयांतले टोटल सायंटिफीक टेम्परामेंट कितें आसा हो तांच्यांनी एक्झिबीट करपाचो प्रयत्न केला. त्या खातीर हांव तांकां कॉंग्रॅच्युलेट करता. आमी बरेचशे फावटी म्हणटा की गोंयांत आमकां बऱ्याच जाणांक, म्हणजे हांव परत परत म्हाज्या भाशणांतल्यान सांगता, आनी स्पेशली फॉर द सायन्स टीचर, गोंयांत एट प्रेझेंट इट इज नॉट ओनली द सायन्स स्टुडंट्स, मीन्स इट इज नॉट ओनली इंजिनियरींग आनी मेडिकल सायन्स ह्यो दोनूच फॅकल्टी न्ही, तर गोंयांत आशिल्ली IIT आसतली, गोंयांत आशिल्ली NIT आसतली, गोंयांत आशिल्ले नॅशनल फॉरेन्सीक सायन्स आसतले, गोंयांत आशिल्लो नॅशनल वॉटर स्पोर्ट्स इन्स्टिट्यूट, गोंयांत आशिल्ले आयुष इन्स्टिट्यूट, गोंयांत आशिल्ले पोलार इन्स्टिट्यूट, हे सगळ्या नॅशनल इन्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ द ओशनोग्राफी, ह्या सारकेली सगळी इन्स्टिट्यूट ही जी आसा ही सायंटिफीक नॉलेज गोंयांतली कितलेशीच वाडयता म्हणून मोस्ट ऑफ द टायम सगळ्या टिचर्सांनी आपल्या सगळ्या भुरग्यांक ह्या सगळ्या इन्स्टिट्यूटांनी विजीट करपाची गरज आसा. म्हणून तर हांव म्हणटा की पिकनीक बिचार न्ही, पिकनीक ह्या इन्स्टिट्यूशनांनी जावनी. इन्स्टिट्यूशनांनी जावप गरजेचें आसा. अजून बऱ्याच जणांनी आमचे मिरामार आशिल्ल्या सायन्स टिचरांनी की कदाचित आमचे सायन्स सेंटर जे आसा मिरामार हे सायन्स सेंटर थोड्या जाणांनी पळोवंक ना. ते येवन पळोवपाची गरज आसा. वॉट एक्झॅक्टली अवर सायन्स सेंटर इज डुईंग वीच इज लोकेटेड एट अ मिरामार ते पळोवपाची गरज आसा. पोलार इन्स्टिट्यूटचो भायर स्टॉल लायला. हांव पर्सनली पोलार इन्स्टिट्यूटान वचून आयला. कितलेशेच सायन्स टीचर अजून पोलार इन्स्टिट्यूटान केन्नाच वचूंक नाशिल्ले. एक्सपिडिशनाचेर वचपाचें हाचेर वेगळीच गजाल आसा. ताजेर तांचे म्हाका दिसता ताका लागून ही बरी ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी, बरी संद आमच्या भुरग्यां खातीर आसा. गोंय सारकिल्या स्मॉल स्टेटीत जितके बरें आमी काम करता ते एक्झिबीट करून ते भुरग्यांच्या मदीं जर आमी रुतयले, तांचे तकलेंत घातलें जाल्यार खूब मोठ्या प्रमाणात भुरगे ह्या सायंटिफीक टेम्परामेंटा कडेन वचपा खातीर सातत्यान त्यांचो चडांत चड आवड जी आसा ही क्रिएट जातली. हांव बरेचशे फावटी अजूनय सांगता म्हणजे आमचे कडल्यान वेगवेगळे प्रयोग सातत्यान आमी करता. म्हणजे स्टेम लॅब जो आमी इंट्रोड्यूस केलो, कोडिंग आनी रोबोटीक जे आमी इंट्रोड्यूस केले फ्रॉम द 6th स्टँडर्ड आनी ऑनवर्ड्स, आज पळयता की कितलेशेच भुरगे कोडिंग आनी रोबोटिकात तशें पळोवंक वचत जाल्यार आमचे भुरगे दे हॅव टॉप 10 कंट्री म्हटल्यार जाता. 100 भुरगे देशांतले जर सिलेक्ट जाता आनी भितरले 22 भुरगे गोंयचे जर आसात, इट इज अ प्राऊड मुवमेंट फॉर द गोवन्स. 22 स्टुडंट्स इज आवर्स इन कंट्री. ह्या कंट्रीतले 22 भुरगे आमचे आसा हे आमच्या खातीर व्हड गजाल आसा. म्हणून अजूनय बी म्हणजे गोंयांत फाटल्या 10 वर्सांक खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात आम्ही हे केलं. आनीकूय दी थोडोसो नॉट ओन्ली सायन्स टीचर बट रेस्ट ऑल टीचर इफ दे टेक्स द इंटरेस्ट इन दीस फील्ड जाल्यार आनीकूय खूप मोठा सायंटिफीक इनोव्हेशन्स आणि टेक्नॉलॉजी आम्ही सगळ्यांच्या पर्यंत व्हरपाक शकतले. इवन दो इन अवर डिपार्टमेंट्स आम्ही पळयता की सायन्स अँड टेक्नॉलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट्स जे आमचे एट प्रेझेंट which is a waste management plant which at a Saligaon, waste management plant at a Kakoda, for the medical waste management plant at our Kundai. हे जे न्यू टेक्नॉलॉजीतल्यान करता, इट इज नॉट इन अदर स्टेट्स. एक्चुअली वेस्ट टू वेल्थ वी आर डुईंग इन अवर स्टेट. डॉक्टर शरद काळे इज ॲडवायझर फॉर दॅट वेस्ट टू एनर्जी प्लांट. आणि इट इज प्रॅक्टिकली तांचे तर म्हणणें आहा वी आर लिडिंग फॉर द कंट्री इन वेस्ट टू वेल्थ. वी आर लिडिंग. बऱ्याच जणांक हे खबर ना. म्हणजे मध्य प्रदेश इज क्लेमिंग, म्हणजे इंदोर सिटी इज क्लेमिंग एज द क्लीनेस्ट सिटी, बट वॉट वी आर डुईंग एक्चुअली नो वन हॅड सीन. त्या खातीर एकदा वचून पळोवचें आनी वेस्ट टू एनर्जी कितें आसा हें त्या उपरांत तुमकां कळटलें. म्हाका दिसता आयच्या ह्या विशयाचेर हांव चड उलोवचो ना, बट मुद्दामून म्हणजे फुडल्या 4 दिसांक वेगवेगळ्या विशयाचेर म्हणजे इंटरेक्शन जातलें फॉर द विथ द टिचर्स, इंटरेक्शन विथ द स्टुडंट्स. सो मेनी सायंटिस्ट आर ऑल्सो कमिंग आणि ती बी एक बरी संद जी मेळटली. आणि ताच्याच खातीर एक विज्ञान परिशदांत घेतलेल्या वेगवेगळ्या इनिशिएटिव्स तांच्यांनी इट इज अ स्टुडंट सायन्स विलेज हो कन्सेप्ट जो स्टुडंट्सांच्या मदीं हाडलो, दॅट इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द गुड कन्सेप्ट. म्हाका त्या खातीरय बी तांचे कॉंग्रॅच्युलेट करता. आणि ह्या सगळ्या हातूंतल्यान म्हणजे आमी पळयता की गोंयचे विजन सायंटिफीक फ्युचर कशा पद्दतीन जावचें हाच्या खातीर जे सरकार आनी आमी मेळून जे काम चलयलां तातूंतल्यान सगळ्या जाणांनी एक ताका मोठो पुश जो आसा पळय हो पुश दिवपाची गरज आसा. आणि ते जर केलें जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता तातूंतल्यान आमी आमचो खऱ्या अर्थात म्हणजे सायंटिफीक टेम्परामेंट गोंयांतले तर वाडोवपाक शकतलेच. हांव कॉन्फिडंट आसा की ह्या फावटीचे सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवल 2025 वीच वील बी द मच डिफरंट दॅन अदर्स. आतापर्यंत जाल्यार ताच्या पेक्षाही बरें सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवल जातलें. एम स्वामिनाथन हांच्या कन्सेप्ट बऱ्याच जाणांच्या मदीं आमकां जो ग्रीन रेव्होल्युशन लोकांच्या मदीं राबोवपा खातीर तांच्यांनी केल्लें काम हें सगळ्यांच्या मदीं वतलें अशें म्हाका दिसता. आनी एक ह्या सगळ्या हातूंतल्यान म्हणजे आमी जशें म्हणटा की सायन्स फक्त शिकल्या उपरांत ताका फक्त भोवकमपट्टी आनी पाठ न्ही, इट शूड बी द थिंकींग, एक्सप्लोरींग एंड अंडरस्टँडींग. हो कन्सेप्ट क्लियर जावप गरजेचो आसा. जो पर्यंत ते सायंटिफीक विचार करपाक सुरवात करचे ना तो पर्यंत तांकां आवड क्रिएट जावची ना सब्जेक्टाची. आणि जो भंय भुरग्यांच्या तकलेंतल्यान आसा हो जर काडून उडयतले आसत जाल्यार तांचो कन्सेप्ट क्लियर करात. आणि ताचीच रिक्वेस्ट म्हणजे एट अ मिडल स्कूल लेवल म्हणजे 8वी 9वी 10वी ह्या जर आमी हाजेर करपाक शकले आसत जाल्यार तांचो कन्सेप्ट जर क्लियर केले जाल्यार मॅक्झिमम स्टुडंट वील ऑप्ट फॉर द सायन्स आणि ज्याची आमकां नितांत गरज आसा इन फ्युचर अशा पद्दतीचे यंग म्हणजे यंग सायंटिस्ट अवॉर्ड दिवपी एकमेव स्टेट गोंय स्टेट आसा. आज पर्यंत खंयसरूच दिना. जशें सायन्स फिल्म फेस्टिवलूय गोंयान ऑर्गनायज करता, सायंटिफीक अवॉर्डूय सायन्स दिता आणि मनोहर पर्रीकर विज्ञान महोत्सव म्हणजे 4 दिसांची लेक्चर सिरीजूय बी ही बी फक्त गोंयांत जाता. अशा पद्दतीचे सायंटिफीक टेम्परामेंट वाडोवपा खातीर स्टुडंट्सांचो पुराय म्हणजे देशांत आनी खंयच्याच स्टेटीत जायना आसतलें. ती एकमेव स्टेट गोंय हें सांगता आसतनाय म्हाका खूब अभिमान जाता. त्या गोंय राज्याचो हांव मुख्यमंत्री आसा आणि म्हाका दिसता ताका लागून गोंयांत अशा पद्दतीचे यंग सायंटिस्ट इन फ्युचर म्हणजे आमी आत्तां जे बीज रोयला ताचो फायदो जो आसा पळय न्ही हो फुडल्या 20 वर्सांनी 25 वर्सांनी आमकां डेफिनेटली दिसून येतलो. ताच्या खातीर आमी काम करप गरजेचें आसा. Once again, I'm congratulating for the Dr. Swaminathan. She all the way, she had come specially for this program. She had visited our TB hospital. She is advising on the TB eradication programs also. Thank you for that. Once again, congratulations for the Vigyan Parishad. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Chief Minister, sir. It's time now to give a small memento as a memory of this SCI-FFI 10.0. So, I request the Chairman of Organizing Committee, Professor Harilal Menon, to do the honors. A small memento of Science Film Festival of India 10.0. Also, a special memento from Goa to Dr. Soumya Swaminathan. This is a special shawl, traditional Goan shawl called as Kurbi shawl. And a memento of SCI-FFI 2025.